how's it going so far?
So I actually started my day at the DPW this morning about 5 o'clock. We had the crews in at 4 o'clock this morning, ready to go. We started general plowing about 6:30 this morning. And then we came up here with the rest of the city team. We had folks from the police, fire, public health, code, as well as my office and the emergency communications team, so that we're ready for any eventuality that we might have to deal with to make sure Worcester's kept safe during the storm. The good news is we've had very few calls, 911 calls, very few calls to customer service, and people by and large adhere to our request to stay off the roads, which is making us a lot more efficient in terms of plowing the streets and making our citizens a lot safer.
What does this new facility kind of allow you to do?
So it gives us the capabilities, you can see behind me, the different screens, so we can monitor everything from power outages from National Grid to talk to MEMA, Skype with MEMA if there was coordinations that needed to be made, monitor the street cameras across the city to see what the road conditions are like, looking at our DPW devices. We have in 4 different locations in the city that are embedded in the pavement that monitor everything from the grip level of the pavement, so we know if we've got slippy conditions in one part of the city that are different than another part of the city. Monitor the number of pieces of equipment that are out on the street and where they are, as well as the number 911 calls that are coming in and what the nature of those calls are. So we really can do everything from this location, communicate with all of our partners should the situation arise that we need to do that.
What are your main concerns, I guess, now? I know we're still sort of in the early going. Heavier snow apparently is supposed to come later.
Yeah. The real concern is that just that people don't try to venture out or think that, oh, it's not going to be as bad as they said, or somehow think that they're going to be able to maneuver their way to wherever they might try to go. Most of the stores and restaurants and businesses are closed, so there really is nowhere to go. So you're just better off staying at home, staying off the road. That's important because if we get into some of the whiteout conditions that they're talking about, you're going to have situations where you may have a plow going down the street who can't see you, especially if you've get stuck in the road. They may not know you're there. That could be a very dangerous situation for everybody involved. And it also would require police and fire to venture out and help vehicles or people who are stranded, and that puts them in danger. So by people staying off the road, it just keeps everybody safer and allows us to do a quicker and more efficient job of plowing.
What are your what's the latest information you have in terms of potential power outages? I mean, I know there's snow, but it's also going to be very windy.
Yeah, I noticed across the city that the National Grid had a number of crews that they brought in that were staying in hotels and have their bucket trucks and equipments to go. So hopefully if we do have any power outages, they won't be long in duration because they have these crews kind of pre-deployed and are standing by should we have a power outage. Luckily, we're seeing the feed right now, and there are virtually no power outages anywhere in Massachusetts, so fingers crossed that we don't have any here in Worcester.
Are you going to be in and out kind of throughout the day? I mean, I know the mayor was here earlier.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is take a ride with the Commissioner of Public Works and the Police Chief, probably about 1 o'clock, and get a sense of what the road conditions look like. And we may have some visitors from the state later today, just kind of checking in as well. So we'll be headquartered out of here today, but we'll kind of venture out periodically throughout the day.
Ed, can you talk a little bit about how storm conditions are going to play into tomorrow, and are there going to be people staffed at the Emergency Operations Center to see how things progress into Wednesday morning?
So we'll keep people here as long as the conditions warrant. So if we have a situation where we still don't have the city up and running after the snow concludes, we'll stay here as long as possible. If we have power outages, people who need to be somehow assisted or shelters that need to be open, we'll keep people here to monitor that. But if the snow stops and it's just a general cleanup, we can monitor those things from other locations and don't need all of the capabilities that we have at this location.
We have some folks who are talking in the comments about particularly bad areas. Are there any, just watching the screens throughout the day, are there any roads or any neighborhoods in particular that people should try to avoid, or any type of, I mean, I know all travel is kind of discouraged right now, but is there anything in particular that, you know, you've seen people, you know, maybe get into some slip-ups? Or
I think more than likely the side streets are going to be the worst because their primary job right now is keeping the main arteries of the city open, which keeps traffic flowing. So side streets are really second priorities, and you know, we'll get to those, but they won't be as frequent as we hit the main arteries, which really are vital for public safety vehicles to move around. If somebody needs an ambulance or a police or fire truck, we need those main arteries clear and being able to move traffic in an efficient way. So again, people need to manage their expectations. We're in the middle of a storm. You're not going to see black pavement in the middle of the storm when you have the snow coming down at the rate that it's coming down. It's going to be a while before we get to those kind of conditions. We're just trying to keep things basically flowing at this stage.
All right, thank you so much for speaking with us, Ed.
Sure.